Hey, hunting family, you are tuning into the Tracks and Tackle podcast, brought to you by Menser Outdoors.
Hey, hunting family, welcome back to another episode of Tracks and Tackle. Got the team together here. We got a great show for you guys today. Brady, how you doing?
Doing great, man. It's been, you said, we got Ted coming on. We're excited from Off the Hook Outdoors. We've been poking with him back and forth, and over the years on YouTube, we just really connected with our page and his, and I'm just excited to get to talk to him and get to know him a little bit, and make a friend.
Yeah. So we're gonna get to know Ted from Off the Hook Outdoors, and without further ado, let's bring him on to the stage here. How you doing, Ted? How are things going?
Doing great this morning. Thanks for having me on, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, man, we've been looking forward to this. And I thought, man, we're just always looking for guests, and we're trying to network with other people. And something to say often is there's guys out there that know a lot more than what we do when it comes to certain things. And found you on I think it was found you on Camo Space app, where you posted one of your videos. And I like to just hop onto people's videos and drop a comment and encourage people like, hey, keep it up. And I was watching a video of you guys just going out scouting. And you're doing the exact same stuff that we do, right? You're out there, you're busting brush, you're checking things out, you're setting up, checking stands, and you're talking to the camera as you're doing it.
Yeah.
And I do that all the time. The Hollywood Horse does that with me all the time. And I'm thinking, like, these guys are just very similar. So, one of the things that you shared is, people are looking for you to just be real. Mm-hmm. And so anyway, you responded to that, and we started a dialogue, and you got a little bit of a YouTube channel, Off the Hook Outdoors. And so we wanted to promote your content and get to know you a little bit. So thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me, and I appreciate it, man. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. So before we get going, I want to roll a quick sponsor, and then we'll jump into it. All right. So
Sure.
Let me got to take care of the people that are keeping the lights turned on. So,
Sure.
Hunting family, it's time to give a shout out to a company that's been keeping our communities moving since 1995. I'm talking about Interstate Garage Doors. For nearly 3 decades, Interstate Garage Doors has been the go-to choice for comprehensive garage door services in South Central PA, as well as the surrounding Hagerstown, Maryland, and Martinsburg, West Virginia areas. And get this, they're not just any company. They're veteran-owned and family-operated with a proud history of serving both residential and commercial clients. Their professional technicians are the real deal, offering top-notch installations from industry-leading manufacturers and expert repairs for all garage door makes and models. From residential garage doors to overhead doors and openers, Interstate Garage Doors does it all. So whether you're a hardworking contractor building homes or a homeowner looking for service or just needing an upgrade, you can trust Interstate Garage Doors to get the job done right. And hey, they're not just experts in garage doors, they're also experts in giving back to the community, sponsoring podcasts like Tracks and Tackle. Are you ready to experience the Interstate difference for yourself? If so, here's a little something extra for our loyal podcast listeners. Use promo code Tracks and Tackle when you contact Interstate so they know you heard about them here. Just visit igdoors.com today to get an estimate or request service, or give them a call at 717-263-3150. Don't wait. Take the first step towards a smoother, more secure garage today.
Man, I'm ready to buy a garage door. I don't know about you guys.
Shout out to Interstate, man, for taking a chance with us. I know some of the guys over there, great guys. So appreciate their support and love for the outdoors, love for the podcast, and their quality company.
Yeah, I watched you guys interview with the guy, I guess, that owns it or whatever the other day. I think I saw
Yeah,
that.
he's a salesman. He's got a little bit of weight, and we got to talk to him about. We'll have him back on, but we got to talk to him about a lot of our interviews, because we're new. Like, we haven't been doing this for years, right? We're just doing this for fun.
Yeah.
So we're constantly upgrading equipment. We're getting new stuff, and we got to get people to talk into the microphone. So he was a little bit disappointed with that, the sound quality on that, but we're sitting around the table sharing stories, and so we'll get him back on. He's a turkey nut for sure. He's a bird killer.
Yeah. It was a good interview. It's nice to have somebody like that to back you up too a little bit. You know what I mean, with stuff. That's where I go with my channel, looking for that stuff. The partners and affiliates, and grab a sponsor here and there. But and I was doing the same thing like you guys do. There's a garage door place down the road there that I was going to go down and talk to them. That was at the beginning of my channel, and then I was like, and I started making videos and stuff. And then people start reaching out to me, which I've reached out to people as well. You'll get the no answer a lot, you know what I mean? But that's the way, that's networking. You go and take a chance, but you ain't gonna ever know until you ask, and all they can do is say no. So go for it.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I love it too.
So, talking with him, we were talking turkeys, and I know that we just had the youth season. The youth day started last week, and you guys got into some birds, I guess. How did that go?
I'm going to tell you what, I don't want to give away the whole thing, because the video is going to probably be coming out this Wednesday at 7 p.m. If people don't know that I do premiere video every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And you guys are from PA. I'm from PA. So that makes it even better here talking to you guys, because, we can relate to a lot of things that happen in PA. But yeah, we got into some birds. I'm just going to say it was the best day I've ever had in my life, turkey hunting. And it was with my son. And it was with my son. And it was, and I turkey hunt. I've been turkey hunting for a long time. And I've had great hunts in the past. I've had some bad hunts in the past, but I've had some great hunts in the past that I didn't think I could top. And yesterday, the PA opening day of youth season, topped it. And I don't think I'm going to top it for a long time. Now, my son maybe be able to top it, but I don't think I'm going to be able to top it, because it was very special with him and I in a blind together. And it was his first time out. So it was
his best day turkey hunting then too.
But I don't know if if he got spoiled on that, because it doesn't happen like that. I mean? Like, I was talking to a few buddies on the way home from there, because I had to call people. I mean, it was like that good. I had to call people on my way home. And last night I was talking to one of my good friends that I turkey hunted with all my life. And we just talked about it. And it's like, he's probably never going to have another day like that. And I was like, and it was just a special day with me and him and I. And I don't know if he's going to expect that every time he goes out or what, because there's a lot of times where you're calling to the air and you don't hear a bird. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
feel that.
We probably had, I'll give you a little plug here, is we probably saw 30 birds total. Now, some of them were the same that came back around, but we saw 30 birds, a total of 30 birds. And when you see the video, you'll see we got a crack or two or three.
Love it. I know we're getting started. We're getting wound up for turkey season, and Brady, you've been out there hitting it, scouting pretty hard. You're scouting on behalf of both of us for the most part.
That's nice. That's nice to have somebody scouting for you.
These young guys keep me young, but they also, there's benefits of running with them.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I was in Maryland with my buddies, and the birds were out. Nothing came our way. We heard them in the morning, but I don't know if they got on a hen, but they just didn't come to us. We heard them all morning, and just no action. But it gave me the itch for PA opener that's coming out here soon. And I took a lot of Fridays off, and I'd say in the past 3 or 4 years, I really got hooked on turkey hunting. So I'm pretty eager. I've been trying to put the work in. So with scouting, like, you can't just go out there and expect to, have action. You need to find where they're at. And I'm pretty good at the afternoons, finding where they're at. I need to do better about getting up in the morning and making sure that they're in that part. So we're working on that.
Well, in the video, you'll see, and my little style, and I don't know if this will maybe help you or, whatever, but and that's one of the reasons why I love doing things like this with other channels and things like that, is you can learn so much off other people. And I think we talked about that. And Ron, we talked about it in the past. That's, you could learn off me. Maybe I do something that you didn't think of or don't do, and you might think of doing it, and it might help. And I would learn off of you guys on how you do things. And that's the beauty of the live streams and connecting with people, is learning. And one of my styles, or one of my strategies is I call putting them to bed. And that's going out. Like Friday, I worked early. I usually work evening, so it's tough. And so I got out early, got down to camp. My dad was down there. We sighted his gun in, and we went out and we put him to bed. So we would go walk the property, and would have an owl hoot and a crow call, and we'd go out. And you want to do that rate, at that twilight time when they're up there. You don't want to call for them when they're still on the ground, basically. A lot of people make a mistake and go out too early, and they're calling, and they hear a turkey down in the valley, but that turkey isn't roosting down in the valley. That turkey's still moving. He's on the ground. He may be 500, 600 yards away or a mile away by that time in the morning. So you got to get up, or you got to time it. And timing is everything with the turkey. You got to get them out there at the twilight when that they're in the roost already, and then locate them. And once you locate them, then you can figure out a strategy how to get in there in the morning and get close to them. And I usually don't like to get closer than 100 yards to a turkey. That's just me. I know people on TV and stuff get in there, and they're right under them and they're right above them. I don't do that. I stay out about 100 yards.
Their eyesight's so good.
Yeah, that's the minimum. If you're doing everything right, maybe you could do that, but I don't have as much confidence where I think I'm doing it right. So I stay about 100 yards away from the roosted bird and try to call him in that way.
Yeah. I think that's great advice.
Yeah. So.
Well, we're excited. I know that we're going to get out and spend some time together in the woods. Some early mornings, spending some hours together are in our near future, without a doubt.
So let me ask you guys a question. I know you're here interviewing me, but what do you guys think of the Sunday hunting? Wouldn't you like that Sunday hunting, or how do you feel about the Sunday hunting? I like it because I don't get out much, and the reason why I would push for the Sunday hunting is because during the week I work all week, so I don't see the kids and stuff as much. So when I do take a trip to camp or something, it would be nice to hunt Saturday and Sunday and then come home Sunday evening, get that extra half day in at least of hunting, or full day, depending on how crazy you are, and go to work the next day. But I like the Sunday. I like the idea of the Sunday hunting. Like Ohio, where I have a lease at, is Sunday hunting, and you get a lot more hunting in just because of that one day.
Yeah, I used to do some hunting out in Ohio too. And Hollywood, I'll let you take this, but being in Ohio, it was really nice because now you're a little bit closer than what we are, but for me, it was 4.5 hour drive to get there, 4 hour drive depending on on a sunny day.
15. Yeah, it's an hour and 15, hour and a half for me.
To go out there and hunt a Friday night and a Saturday and come home, it's not worth it. But having that Sunday hunting makes a difference. Hollywood.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, what was it? It was probably like, I don't know, not even 10 years ago, they opened up the Sunday for rifle. And now it seems like they're expanding on it there's like a day or two in archery that they're opening up. But it makes a world of difference. And, where we're at here in like Gettysburg area, you go 40 minutes south and then you can hunt on Sundays in Maryland. So I don't have any issues with Sunday hunting. I see why, traditionally, it's frowned upon to hunt on Sunday, and certain folks don't want it. But you got to think about your kids. They have sports. Weekend warriors. You got to think about the people that work all the time. Even the diehard hunters. You can't take off all that time. You might take a week off for rut, but just having that extra day. All them the Sundays add up, and it's more time in the woods. And and especially if we're trying to promote people getting out in the woods, it makes it easier for someone to be able to slip away on a weekend and get 2 days out rather than one.
Yeah, and that sort of refers to the rifle season, how PA changed that to Saturday hunting as well. I myself, like at first, traditional, being traditional. I like that Monday, you get off school, you don't have to go to school. When I was younger, and and
Yep.
the Friday after Thanksgiving, everybody had their trucks packed Thursday. So Thanksgiving dinner in our family was basically talking about hunting for leaving for Friday for the weekend. I don't know if the
You
ladies
could be a fly on the wall at our house, and it's the same. Yeah.
And I don't know if the ladies enjoyed that as much, but the guys that we're talking about was basically Thursday Thanksgiving dinner was talking about hunting and going away that weekend and planning everything, and then getting up, going home and loading all your leftover turkey sandwiches up and gravy and mashed potatoes, and then heading to camp on Friday morning, and then getting down there and getting your truck unloaded and unpacked, and then getting your guns out and shooting on Friday because you didn't want to shoot the day before hunting season. So we had everybody shoot on Friday and make sure you're sighted in. And then Saturday and Sunday was just to go out in the woods and prepare your stands. And Sunday afternoon was off limits to anybody in the woods, down at our place. And, we did the big dinners at camp and things like that, and it was just a great time of year, exciting. And as a kid, I look forward to that Monday, getting off school and going out. But that was like, for me, for traditional, I like that. But now when you can go Saturday and Sunday, it's really cool because the kids, don't have to take off school, you know what I mean? And things like that. So it goes both ways for me. Like I enjoy just getting out there and hunting whenever I can. So Saturday, Sunday for rifle is pretty cool. We don't have as much time to prepare. So what we have to do is prepare earlier in the season. And that's how you fix that.
Right.
Back in the day when I was younger, I didn't have my own vehicle to drive to camp and go scouting like I wanted to. I had to depend on my father or my dad's friends or whatever. And they were always working. So I wasn't out in the woods scouting like I do now. You know what I mean? Like I'm in the woods a lot. And so I had to take everything I could get. So that was cool though. We go down Friday and do all our stuff. But now Saturday, Sunday, get that extra day of hunting, and it's pretty cool too. So
I see it from like both sides, right? So the guys that are traditionalists, I understand that, I love the thought of, some of my best memories at because we have a hunting camp, and some of my best memories are that Sunday or Saturday because we still do the Thanksgiving. A lot of times what our family will do is we'll shoot our guns in on Thanksgiving morning. Then you have a Thanksgiving meal, and then on Friday we're heading off to camp. And you're spending that Friday there, but you're hitting it right away on Saturday morning. Opening day is like on top of you. So some of my fondest memories as a young man growing up and like cutting my teeth on getting outdoors and hunting, or that Saturday and Sunday, that weekend leading up, because it was playing cards at hunting camp and hearing the old timers tell their stories, and reviewing the logbook of hunts that have happened in the past, and then getting the older guys to say, well, that's not really how it happened, and getting the detail, the stuff that's not documented, but the oral tradition. So like I really spent and got a lot out of that as a young guy. But now, like where I am in my life right now, I'm cool with starting on Saturday. Like I'm still gonna take as many days off of work. Like I hunt a lot, and I save up all my time off, for the most part, to go hunting. Big archery hunters, spend a lot of time in the fall in the woods, and that like refreshes me, it recharges me. But I also recognize that there are guys out there that don't have the ability to take the time off like I do, or they need that weekend day. And I'm an advocate, I think we both are, of getting more people into the sport. Like I don't want to see the sport, like the conservation of just managing deer populations or animal herds in particular. Like it's so important. And we look at the next generation. Like I love the fact that you're like getting your son out and getting him involved and things like that, because that next generation, those that follow us, they've got to carry this on. It's always evolving, ever changing. So I see it from both sides.
Yeah, what you just said right there, I just about every time I drive to camp with my son is I explain that situation with, I'm showing him, like what was crazy was I got my dad into hunting, And
Okay.
my
Wow.
dad didn't get me into hunting. Okay. My dad was a mill worker. It's still
Mhm.
mills. He worked all the time. My mom didn't work. And then she ended up getting a job part-time in the evenings, so my dad, and she didn't drive. And my dad was just, I don't know how he did that. I'd go nuts. Like if my wife didn't drive, I don't know how he did it. And I respect him for that.
Yeah.
But, my best friend at the time got me into hunting, archery hunting. And him and I went with his father and his friends. And my dad, I think, wanted to get involved more with me because he wasn't, and I respect that as well. So he got into hunting and started, and that's how we got to camp. With him, he knew buddies that had a camp down there, and we got down there, and I've been a member down there now for 30 some years. And I got him into hunting, and then he started hunting. And so he looks at me at times for, advice and things like that.
Sure.
He don't go out like I do. Like I'm hunting and fishing. I'm hunting was my first passion.
There are different levels, right?
Yeah, there's levels. There's somebody that goes down and didn't shoot their gun or haven't been in the woods all year. And that's what I was saying about that Monday thing, that weekend. Like a lot of the people that went to hunting camp depended on that weekend to go scout for a spot. You know what I mean? But my spot's planned out. We have the food plots out there. We have things like that. So there is different levels of being prepared and different levels of like hunting and fishing in my book, that like some people were into it. And just from taking people out on my boat and fishing with them, I always get the, hey, you should be a guide, because like they've never done what I've done, like fishing. And it's kind of weird to me, because to me it's normal. But then when you take somebody on the boat with you and you're fishing, it's like, man, you're really into this. It's like, no, I don't think so. I'm just normal. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
And they're like, you should be a guide at fishing and do this, because we're catching fish, and I never caught stuff like this, and I never did what you did. And then like hunting, it's like, yeah, we go out for weekends at a time, the whole weekends, and scouting and stuff like that. My buddy has a place down in Ohio, and I go with him, and we're out in the woods till dark. We walk and just do things and plan things and talk about it and strategize. And that's more fun than sometimes that's more fun than the actual hunting itself, is planning.
Oh, no doubt.
Putting the big pieces of the puzzle together. You know what I mean? So,
well, you're spending time with your friends, and then we say we're making memories,
Yeah. And I actually got to give a shout out like to people's wives, and my wife especially. Like she lets me do that stuff. Like she knows it's important to me to give it back to my family, my son, my daughter. Now my daughter was into it. She shot a deer first day she was out too. She got spoiled, but that's all the work that I put in to try to do that. But she goes out there, shoots a deer the first hour she's there. My son went out his first time hunting, shot a deer his first time he's out. And I'm like, that don't happen, man. You got to get out there.
You're doing something right, Ted.
So, yeah. So like, I got to thank the wives for like, letting us do that stuff. I know it's hard to them because they take a lot on during, the weeks and stuff when we're at work and doing all that with the kids. Cause I'm not here during the week. I work 3 to 11:30. So the kids are in school when I'm home. And then, when I go to work, my wife is taking the kids to baseball, volleyball, karate, softball. Like she's running around crazily, and she gets home and she's beat, you know what I mean? And we always get you get the little quarrels here and there with the stuff, but she does it all.
That's normal life.
Yeah, it's life, and she takes it on. And but it could be different, and she didn't want me to do things like that, but I think she knows that it's important to me, and she knows that I want to pass that on to my kids. And she does what she has to do, and I do what I have to do.
Yeah, that's why it's so important to find the right partner, because our spouses are they're really our partners. Yeah. And like even today, it's the nicest day of the weekend. I was joking with Ted offline here about how yesterday was kind of like a gloomy day, and today the sun's going to be out. It's going to be 80s, and we're all about being outdoors. And here we are, in studio.
I went hunting and did my fun for the weekend. So now Sunday's the work day for me. So I gotta make up for what my wife let me do this weekend. So I gotta go help and do some things that I'm supposed to be doing here. So
my wife, she's waiting on me. She says, all right, go podcast. But when we're done, we're gonna go hit the trail, and we're gonna hike a mountain, and we're just gonna get outside and enjoy the day. So hat tip to all of our ladies out there, and for sure. Trying to find the right one here for Brady.
Yeah,
but, that's a whole other episode.
It's very important, Brady, for sure. I tell you.
Yeah.
It's very
I'm hoping
important.
to find her out in the woods, but I don't know what the likelihood of that's going to be, man.
I didn't find my wife out in the woods. We knew each other a good part of our lives, but yeah, I mean, she's an outdoorsy lady too. She likes to camp and go out there. She likes to enjoy it and watch other people doing it. She don't want to shoot a deer. She don't want to go out and hunt or anything like that. But she'll go to camp and I'll go hunting. But she enjoys going there and doing things like that.
Supportive.
Yeah. I'm trying to get her to go fishing with me on the boat still.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So Ted, tell us a little bit about Off the Hook. I mean, that's the reason why we brought you on was we wanted to.
Do you want the detailed version?
Well, yeah. Why don't you just? Okay. I mean, I know that you have a goal. You got a YouTube channel. You're putting out videos every Wednesday, informational videos, product reviews. That different. And you're actually. A great model because you're very interactive. You'll go live and you've interacted with us, and that's sort of how we started to bridge a little bit of a relational equity here, where I came to you and I said, hey, why don't you come on the show and let's talk. But why don't you just I'll give the microphone over to you. Tell us about Off the Hook, what your goal is, and the heart behind it.
Sure. Well, I started my Off the Hook channel 4 years ago, I believe, and how that started was I hurt my foot, believe it or not, bowling with my kids we were on a resort. We were on a trip for the weekend. And so I was bowling with my kids and I ended up ripping every ligament out of my ankle that I think is in there. And so I was off. I had surgery. I was off work for, I don't know, maybe a month or two. Maybe 3 months. I can't even remember. Everything's always a blur here. So, and I'm sitting on the couch watching TV and YouTube, and I'm watching these people going out there with YouTube and doing their fishing adventures and their hunting adventures with a camera, getting you dizzy by moving around everywhere. And I'm like, like what the heck? So, but it was interesting to me that I'm like, man, I do that already. I just don't take a camera with me. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm sitting there, and then I started watching, like, who inspired me to do it was like Deer Meat for Dinner. Robert Arrington. I don't know if you guys have ever followed Deer Meat for Dinner, but he was just out there fishing, having fun. He had his kids with him, his wife with him. They were out fishing, doing everything together. And we camp a lot as a family, and we sort of did the same stuff that they were doing, but just on a way lesser level than him. Like that's his job. You know what I mean? And I was like, I do that already. So why not start a YouTube channel? And that's the first step is the hardest, is actually hitting that publish button for your first video. You know what I mean? Because I was worried about what are people going to say, what are people going to do. I didn't know how to act in front of a camera. Like I could talk.
Your first video is never as good as you only get better.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Like I had a video that was like sideways on one, like different. It looked like I was hanging from my tree stand instead of sitting in it. You know what I mean? Like things like that. But so I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to try it and see what happens. And there's a part of time like in my life where I had to either go right or left, and I went right. And so I decided to do that. And it's worked out. Like I said, it keeps me occupied. Not that I am occupied with family and all that, but I'm doing something that I love to do, and I'm putting it out there for everybody, and it gets me to interact with other people, learning, teaching, things like that. And my kids are involved. They were involved 100% through the beginning of that. Now they're getting older, where my daughter isn't. I'm not with my daughter as much doing things or she don't want to be filmed anymore. Like at the beginning, she was into it a lot, but she's getting older. She's doing different things, and never want to force her. I'd always say, hey, you want to do this? She'd be like, yeah, sure. Let's do this. Or she wanted me to eat some crazy food on video, and, I'd be doing that. And that's all fun. And I like doing all that stuff, but she's doing some things with her friends, and she's very busy herself with softball and schooling and all that. She's very good. I'm very proud of her for doing what she's doing. So I can't make her do things with me, but I'll ask. And it's fun when she does. But she's her own person. She has to do her own things. So so I decided to just make the channel. I need a GoPro, I need a camera, I need this, I need that. And my wife allowed me to do all that, of course, so I did all that and start putting it out there, and people really took to it. And I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. And I've always wanted my whole life, you dream about watching, Michael Waddell on TV and stuff and see what he's doing. And like you want to be that guy, you know, but unfortunately our families and stuff, that's not real life to us as a normal, you know, I want to say normal everyday husband, father, guy that has a family. Like that isn't normal to be doing that because you're away from your family a lot. And I couldn't do that. You know, I couldn't go on road trips and do fishing tournaments all the time. I did that when I didn't have a family or didn't have kids. I did that. And then that slowed down and I stopped, you know, fishing tournaments and things like that. And then I wanted to take my kids out and do that. And then I'm like, I'm going to build them up to be better fishermen so I can go on tournaments with them. You know, that's how I was looking at it. And so I hit the ground running and started doing videos and, you know, going live for the first time. I never forget that. That was scary. You know, because you don't know what people are going to say and everything. But then I'm the type of person like, whatever. And my wife behind the scenes has actually helped me a lot on stuff like that. Like my growing up, it was like if somebody would attack me, like not physically, but verbally say attack me, I would come right back without thinking and just be like, boom. And I would say an answer. My wife's like, you got to think about what you know, you can't just hit send on a text. And once you hit send, it's gone, you know what I mean? Type deal. So she's helped me with that, like how to handle situations like comments and things like that, which I'm thankful for because it helped a lot. So, you know, that was the hardest part is how to handle the communities and the people that are giving you bad, like,
everybody's a keyboard warrior. Yeah.
Everybody's a professional. Everybody says you do something wrong. Of course. And everybody does do things wrong. But that's just life. And, but it's how you handle it after the quote or the, you know, what they tell you. It's after you know, how you handle it after the fact. And my wife's helped me a lot on that stuff. Like, because I do Facebook videos and things too. I have a page on Facebook, not just YouTube. I expanded to Facebook and stuff. So, and you'll get comments like, you don't know what you're doing it wrong and this and that. And you got to know how to handle that, you know. And me as a person, I never handled that correctly. I would always attack back. You know what I mean? So now it's like, okay, well, and I put a nice comment in there. Sometimes it's like, thanks for the comment with a smile, you know, like, but you really want to be like, rah, 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 rah. So I call
them the Facebook wardens, you know, the Facebook wardens come out.
People that like look at you and scope you out and every little wrong thing you do. Like, hey, you're standing too close to the edge of the boat when you're fishing. That's very dangerous. You should have your kids behind. You know, it's like, come on, man, it's real life. If they fall in, they fall in. You know what I mean? That's the way I look
just at it. Water.
Yeah. So, you know, that was the hardest part is getting criticism, I guess, accepting the criticism you get. And then I turned that into positive by saying, you know, I'm going to review that stuff and see if it's really, if I can improve or do better, you know, like that. So that drove me to do that, to, you know, people making comments and things like that, like, you know, really thinking the situation out and what you put on camera. I mean, because, you know, there's trickery on these TV shows. You know, they film for a couple months before they have a TV show. YouTube, you're filming it and you either put it out there or you don't if you don't have the footage. And my style is, if I don't catch a fish during my segment or my video that I'm making, if you don't see me physically catching a fish with YouTube, nowadays they want action. You know, they want to see all you guys shoot deer. If they could watch a video, of 10 minutes of kill shots on deer, and that's it, that's what they want to watch. Well, I wanted to put in my videos the teaching and like how the steps on how to get to that point. So if I'm out fishing and I'm not catching stuff, I explain to the camera, hey, weather, water temperature, water clarity, lures, what the fish are doing. I try to get all that information in that video if I'm not catching fish, because that's an information learning experience. Hey, it don't happen like on TV all the time. You don't catch 100 fish and the biggest fish in the lake every time you go out there. So my style is, it is what it is. This is how it really happens. And I don't use trickery in video, and I put it the way it is. I'll do my cuts. I'll pay, you know, I'll do my transitions. I'll add some music to it or some sound, but I don't have like anything fake in my videos. Like I don't put like fish jumping in the background and goofy clowns swirling around with my Off the Hook logo. Like I don't do stuff like that. It's just how it is, and this is how it is, and this is how I do things. And not all the time do you have a successful hunt in the woods. And I put the video out because my goal was to put a video out every Wednesday to be consistent, sometimes more during the week. But every Wednesday at 7 p.m., I put a video out, and it's going to be something. It might not be as exciting as the other guy that put 20 catches for 30 minutes, but that's all they did was, so when they caught a fish, they videoed it, and you didn't get nothing out of it but the fish catch. And I try to give you I try to add in my videos as much information as I can about the situation. And that's my style.
Make it educational.
It's if I'm not catching fish, I'm going to tell you why,
I got to tell you, we spend a lot of time in the woods, and for the few seconds, literally seconds it takes to harvest an animal.
Yep.
We put in days,
hours and hundreds of hours. Yeah.
Sitting, and there's a, it's good for the soul to get out and, just sit in a tree in autumn, watching the leaves change or fall or whatever, but there's a lot that you don't see on that YouTube video, for that 30 seconds of fun.
Yeah. How much preparation takes for that to make that video as well. This turkey hunt. I mean, I had cameras in the blind. I had GoPros on trees, set up things, you prep for that. And it depends on your style too. Like I said, some people like me, when I do something, my wife always says, you do 150%. You never take it easy. You're always doing more and more and more. I always have my hand in the fire. I'm always trying to think of different things or different angles or different products to use to make you enjoy watching me better. That's what my goal is, and I always base my channel off of these TV shows. I try to base my channel off of it. Now I know it's YouTube and people accept you holding the camera and doing this and running and bouncing and all that. But I can't, to me, it's that doesn't do anything for me. With the stability thing and the camera's moving real fast around you. I try to make my videos on TV. I try to get the camera angles and I try to
level of professionalism.
I try to have a little bit of professionalism in my videos as best I can. Now, is there times where it's not professional, where the kids talking, you'll see on the video, and I'll give you another little part of the video. I said, "Hey Theo, what do you think?" And he goes, "That shotgun sucks." Well, I kept that in there. I kept that in there because
he's real.
Yep.
He's right, and he's right. So I'm like, I'm not going to cut that out, because that's what he said and that's what he felt at that time. So I want that feeling of that video, hey, we failed, and we failed because, and I don't want to say we failed because of the gun, but it was just funny. A kid saying, "Hey, that shotgun sucks." And I'm like, that's
real life moments.
It's real life moments. Yes.
It's actually part of the experience. And I know
there's a few swear words in there that I had to cut out. And I'll admit that because
sure.
You slip up every once in a while, and you have to cut them out of your video, of course, but it's all pretty much raw and uncut in my videos. It's pretty much, and I plan it all out. I do. If I'm going to make a fishing video, I plan what I want to do for that day. A lot of people go out and just do whatever happens in there, and I'll plan on, okay, I want to go fish with a frog. Now, whatever happens during the video, I can't control that. So, but I do have a plan in my head, and I think that's good for all good creators. Is you should have a plan. Anybody with a little bit of the professionalism or wants something, quality, I think has to make a plan. Like you guys probably talk on who's going to have a camera, who's going to video who, what you're going to do, where you're going to stop and video. You're going to talk about what you're going to say right before the video. So there's a lot of planning involved. It ain't just going out and doing it.
Well, I will say that's true to some extent, but Hollywood likes to catch me unprepared, and
that's a good thing too. That's a good thing too, though. So Brady is the man behind the camera. He's the brains behind the operation, basically, with all the content.
For the most part, we talk to like deer season. I'm in my stand, he's in his stand, just to come back and the stories. But most of the time, the stories end up happening before the camera gets turned on, and those are the best ones because they're authentic. There's all that energy, and trying to be attentive about that. But also, like we talked about a little bit, when the cameras come on, the story changes a little bit. Yeah, it gets cleaned up.
Even the attitude and your demeanor on camera changes, real life, and that's what you got to learn too. And I'm sorry for cutting you off there, Ron.
You're good.
that's what I try to catch, is that natural, not saying, hey, okay, Theo, I'm going to video you, and hit the play button, hit the record button. And then he's like, okay, I'm being recorded now, so I can't do this. Right. I want the people to act normal. And you get that as you start filming more and more and more. I don't know how long you guys have been filming each other, but you'll notice yourself, you'll get more comfortable on the camera. You'll start looking at that lens, but you'll see people in that lens. Like when I'm talking to the camera now, I block out it's a camera. I'm acting like I'm talking to my buddy standing there or whatever. And then I think that gets to people better. I think they can relate to that better.
Yeah, that's part of the reach on social media. You've got to understand you're talking to your audience, and you got to understand who your audience is.
Yep.
I know, like for us, like we've gotten pretty comfortable, like you said, after doing it so long, you understand you're doing that. But we've also got guys in camp that aren't on camera very often, and they have an incredible experience, and we want to try to capture that. And it's hard for them.
Yeah, and it's hard to get that emotion. It's hard to get that emotion.
So like if the cameras, or if we're not rolling audio or video, like, man, they're just telling us with this passionate story, but then we roll the camera and it's like 1 or 2 word answers.
And they stutter and stuff. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's nerves.
You guys know that. Anybody that does that does know that. Yeah, for sure.
But the more you do it, to your point, the more you do it, the more comfortable you get. And I think we've all been there without a doubt.
I've helped a couple people on channels like try to get over that, because they've reached out to me and said, hey, how are you like so like cool when you're talking to people like on camera? Like there's nobody there, but you're talking. I said, when I first started, I'm out on a boat and there's people fishing around me and I'm sitting there talking to myself. That was kind of weird at first. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I'm talking to a camera that's standing there, a stick with a lens on it, and there's people around me fishing. They're probably like, this guy is crazy. But I'm out there talking to the camera like there's somebody on a boat with me. And that's what you got to do. You got to block that out and just look and ahead through that camera and act like and I always envision like I'm talking to my kids, or I'm talking to my best bud, my fishing buddy or hunting partner, and we're talking together. I just picture that when I'm talking to the camera, and it's helped. And I still have a lot of work. I'm not nowhere near being a professional like I would love to be, but I try my hardest to do that and bring that out.
The question really is, are you having fun?
Yep.
And if you're having fun doing it, then keep doing it. If it's life-giving and it brings you joy, like that's why we're doing. If this ever became like a job, like we probably would stop doing it, but we're having fun. We're meeting guys like you. We're talking about things that we're passionate about, hunting and fishing. I know you were rolling a live video not too long ago. You gave us a shout out. You make your own baits?
Yes, I make my own baits.
So really eager about that.
Yeah, Brady was asking me, I'm sitting at work and I saw that you went live, and I shot him a text. I said, hey, Off the Hook is live making some baits, and so, I know that we're interested in hearing about that process.
Yeah, for sure.
How'd you get started doing that even? Like what drove that?
Watching YouTube. Watching YouTube and seeing other people do it. And I'm like, I fish a lot. I use certain things, and I wanted to save some money by doing it, which don't think you're going to make baits and save money. That's not, you're going to spend more money because you're going to want more molds and more baits.
It's just another project. It's a project though.
It's another,
and we're always looking for projects.
Yeah,
so
it's an awesome thing to do. It's an awesome thing to do. So what I was doing was I was Senkos, Yamamoto's, and I call them Sanko, S-A-N-K, and there's Senko, but the way I pronounce it is Sanko. I'm a Yinzer, I'm from Pittsburgh, stuff like that. So everybody on YouTube saying, what's a Sanko? And I'm like, it's a Senko, you know what I mean? So and that's one of my top baits that I use. I can catch fish anywhere on any lake with that bait. If I rig it certain styles, it's just a confidence bait that I have. So I started out with that. It was 2 molds from Do It Molds, and I bought some plastic, I bought some colors and some glitter, and I started making those baits. And I'm like, all right, this is cool. And I started going out and catching fish on those baits that I made, which is really cool. And that's what gets, that's the hook of everything. When you make a bait and you go out there and you catch a fish on the bait that you made, you're hooked and you're addicted. That's it right there. That's all I can say. Because then Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say we just interviewed a guy, and that episode will drop here, probably beginning of May, where he got into making his own turkey calls.
Yeah.
And there's like a whole community of guys making turkey calls, and he says the same thing. Like when you take a bird on a call that you made yourself, or your buddy made the call, he's really he makes sure that call is in the picture when he's taking the photo of his son with the bird or whatever. So it's the same concept when you make it yourself and then you're successful. Like there's something about that, right?
For sure. So I started doing that, and I'm like, okay, I just want to make baits to save money instead of me buying them. I'm just gonna make them. I can make 20 packs to every one pack that I buy or whatever, something like that ratio. It ain't that ratio, but it's something like that. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, I want this bait. And then you got to go buy the molds, and they're not cheap. You know what I mean? So CNC molds, machine molds are more than sandcast molds, things like that. So I started doing that. And then people started asking if I have them for sale. And I'm like, nah, not really. I just make them. And then I started thinking, well, maybe I could make a couple bucks while doing something that I like. And that's every guy's dream, doing what they love and making money on it. Right. So I started making baits, and I looked around at everybody that was making baits and tried to keep the prices comparable and things like that, and started making baits and just selling on YouTube. Like my buddies and that, I'll give them some will give me a couple bucks for money. So I do that. And then I was like, well, I'm just going to open up a little bait store on YouTube and start, because everybody, and that's the thing with YouTube too, everybody says they're going to buy something off you, but then when it comes down to selling them, you don't get, everybody goes silent. It's really hard on YouTube to sell things, and so I started there, and then I worked my way into Facebook, and then I started my own website, offthehookoutdoors.us, where you could find all my social media, all my baits, on there. You can buy them from there. You can go check it out. Offthehookoutdoors.us. I just made that last year with my buddy Jason. If you guys are familiar with one of my good buddies, Jason from JJ Drones, he's a drone guy. That's another thing I want to get for my channel is a drone. I think that'll add just more professionalism and a lot more different content to my channel. So I started making baits and selling them. There it is right there. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I just started making baits and selling them. And I don't sell a ton of baits on, it's on my website. I do have people, but I don't want to be that big because I don't want to put all my time in doing that and not being out fishing or hunting. You know what I mean? So I do it. And so the way I figured it out was to go fully customized. There's not a lot of people out there that they'll just go out and buy a pack of baits and that's it. It's a store. Well, with me, we can talk about colors off camera. We can talk about floating, sinking. We can talk about the plastic makeup. You want hard plastic mixed in with some extra soft or some medium plastic. We can get into like customizing your bait to what you want. And so it's more, I don't want to say specialty, but it's a specialty bait company. Whereas if Brady calls me up and says, hey, Ted, I want a super color that like nobody knows about. It's his own color. Like I'll make that color for you. And I won't put that on social media unless you give me permission. Like, hey, like Texas plum, a guy wanted Texas plum. And he was like, well, I don't want you to share that out. I'm like, well, Texas plum is a normal color. It ain't like it's a bag. And he didn't even know that. He thought that was like his special color, right. Top secret. But there are some top secret colors out there, with a couple more drops of this and a couple more drops of that and some of this glitter and that glitter. And then the makeup of the plastic, because you have soft, medium, hard, you have floating, sinking, there's all different kinds. So the makeup of that plastic, you could have a custom bait with the same color, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's what I try to stress to people. Like, you're not getting just an everyday bait with me. We're talking about it before we make the bait. Now, some people say, I just want black and blue Senkos. And I'm like, okay, but we want floating, sinking, floating. Okay. So I'll make that because they're going to put a weight on it. And that's not really a custom bait, but it's
made to order though, right?
Yeah, and that's the word I was looking for. It's made to order. If you don't want your color or your formula or anything out there on social media or anybody know, if you have your own secret, I keep that secret. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, Ron. If like you and Brady say, hey, I want this color and I really like it, I'm making some for myself and I'm going to go try it.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? So
fishermen are like that though. Like we keep some of,
you have your own special lure that you
inside the vest, this is my fishing spot. I'm not telling you where it's at,
exactly.
etc.
that's another thing with the YouTube thing. People are asking you, where you hunting at, or where you hunting, or where you fishing at. You're like,
right.
I'm like, PA,
Yep.
PA. We're at in PA, Pittsburgh, PA. You start, you try to keep it as broad
Try
as
to,
you can,
yeah.
because it happens on lakes and stuff. Like, I'm an ambassador for Fish Angler. I have a
Mhm.
fish branding company. I'm working really close with Fish Angler to get a YouTube version of their app. And Joy is one of their social media directors and stuff like that. Well, she reached out to me. She really liked what I was doing, and she asked me, would I be an ambassador and would I help her start a YouTube chapter of Fish Angler? And I'm like, sure. I said, I'll help you out, and I'll do some content with Fish Angler on my channel for you guys. And then let's get a YouTube section on your Fish Angler and get the people that are making videos that have Fish Angler, get them as a community in there, and let's get it out there on YouTube. So I'm working on that. I am a pro staff member of, obviously, you see my background of Rubline Sense. They asked me to do a little more for them this year. So I'm going to be taking on sort of more of an admin role with them. And that's for social media and getting stuff out there and marketing and stuff with them, because I guess they like what I'm doing with my channel and the products that I have. So I'm looking forward to that. Now that, you got to watch what you take on as well, because you don't want to get overwhelmed, because I like quality instead of quantity. So
Yeah.
I'd rather do something 100% than 10 things at 40%. You know what I mean? That's just how
And
I
you
am.
want it to remain fun.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
I want it to remain. Now, you guys, I don't know, are you guys monetized on your channel yet?
No, we're not.
Okay. Now, a lot of people, and that's one point that I wanted to sort of bring up with people here is, like I always said, I'm doing it for fun, and I do it for fun. Don't take this the wrong way. I started doing it, and I started seeing growth on my channel and interaction, and I started feeling good about myself. Like, hey, people like this stuff. I want to get monetized, but it don't matter to me. It don't matter if I get monetized. And I don't know if you're what situation you're in, or what stage of your channel that you guys are in. To you, probably right now, you're doing it for fun. You don't care if you get monetized. Okay. Well, when you get closer to that goal, and I'm very competitive in everything that I do. My family's
Right.
competitive. We can go over to my mom's house and I can throw a rock in a hole in a yard, and like everybody's trying to do that for the rest of the night. That's how competitive we are. My friends are the same way. So I have that competitive in me, and not to be better than anybody, just to win and do, like that kind of thing. So I have a goal that, like, I want to be the best that I can and
Sure.
do the best that I can at everything. You know what I mean? So when I was close to being monetized, I'm like, okay, once I get monetized, I all the pressure's off of you. So I ended up getting monetized, and I'm like, okay, the money don't matter. YouTube money, what are you getting? Cents on a video? You're getting
Sure.
a couple cents. So I started doing them, and then I got monetized. And then, you're doing these live chats and things, and people are like, hey, here's the donations, $8 or $10. And YouTube keeps 60% of it. So you're getting, for every $10, you get like $4 from it. Okay. Which now, having a channel that long, I'm like, what the heck is that? You know what I mean? Like, that's a lot of money they're taking from you for all the work that you're doing. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So, but it's getting to that point where you're monetized, and then all of a sudden you start making the money, but like I'm talking like 27 cents for a video now. Okay. Like, you got 500 views on a video, you make $1.17. You're like, okay, is that worth it or not? Well, the having fun part and doing it if you don't look at it on the money side of it, it's worth it to me. But then once you start getting your YouTube checks in the mail, okay, and you're seeing you made 85. Well, they won't give you nothing less than 100. After 100,
it adds up, and it makes a difference.
It helps, because that $100, I can go buy a bunch of stuff for my bait making, like supplies that I would have had to spend out of my own pocket. So the YouTube, I'm trying to get to a point where YouTube is supporting YouTube's habits.
Yeah. Right.
I would like for that to happen.
How much money did you spend or invest in, cameras and microphones and, whatever you need to do to make those videos?
Yeah. So it's nice to get a check, and then, okay, I'm going to save my 2 checks and go buy a GoPro, things like that.
Exactly.
Like, that's how you got to look at it. And that's how I look at it is, okay, I want to get a new fishing reel for my rod, and to fish with, but I'm going to be using that on my video. So I'm going to save my YouTube money, and then I'm going to go buy a new rod, or I'm going to buy a camera mount, or I'm going to buy a new tree stand. But that all goes back into my channel.
Yeah, it's
You know
all
what I mean?
investment, right?
Yeah. So any of that money, it does help. Like once you get monetized and you start making the money. Now it took me sometimes 3 months to make $100. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and that's my goal now is try to make $100 a month off of my long form videos. Not
Yeah.
selling anything, not any donations, just making videos and making $100 a month just from me putting out 4 videos a month. Now it's very hard to do that because you only have 4 videos. So that means you'd have to step it up. Like I'm okay with waiting a month or two to get the $100. Okay. But my goal is to get as close to $100 a month as I can for my 4 videos that I put out every week. Now, at first I was thinking I could do that, but it's very hard with 4 videos unless you're getting thousands of views. Okay.
You need watch time, right? You need watch time.
Watch time and views. You need the watch time to get that. And the views, and you get paid per views. And we'll get into that in a little bit too, because I have my opinion on things like that with the YouTube, the technical side of things that I've learned a lot with. But that's my goal is to make $100 a month on my long form videos. Now, people, and Brady, I know you're a shorts guy. I know that. Shorts are fun. They're awesome. In today's world, that's what people are watching because they don't have the attention span to watch a full length video. Okay. And my advice to you guys is if you do a lot of shorts is to maybe break it down into 2 halves of your channel. It's like a shorts channel and like a long form channel, or like a podcast channel and a shorts channel. Because when you intermingle your long form with your shorts, if your goal is a shorts channel, then you're fine. Okay. But when you're doing long form and short form, the algorithm, they don't know where to send that. And it hurts your views on both ends if you do it that way. I did a study in February of every day in February, I put out a short, sometimes 2. And my watch time on my long form went down and my analytics went haywire for that month. And then I stopped. Now I'll put shorts out related to my videos or any kind of announcements that I got to make related to my long form videos. I do that.
Promos.
Or I take a clip, you can remix your video and make a short out of it that way to try to pull people from the shorts feed to your long form, which is very, very hard to do. People that are on shorts, their head is made for shorts. They don't want to watch the long form. So it's very hard to do. But the only reason why I do that is to get my content out there because it goes to a bigger reach with the shorts than the long form. The algorithm sends it out to say 10 million people, whereas my long form, it might go out to 2 million. You know what I mean? So there's a strategy behind the channel too. It ain't just like if your goals are, it depends on what your goals are, I should say.
Yeah.
Yes. Go ahead.
There's times we're scratching our head because, simple short of me catching like a real tiny bass that will blow up and that'll got like, I don't know, like 8,000 or 9,000 hits. And then we think this one's pretty cool. Maybe it's that action shot,
There's a lot of letdown in the shorts for sure.
Yeah. But it is kind of rewarding to see that, this is what we're doing for fun. We capture this moment, we put it out there.
Yeah.
And just
I get it on that end. That's a great way to.
audience.
That's a great way to look at it, like capturing that moment and putting on. Like I had an albino deer across the street from me, and so I'm like, oh my god, that's an awesome short. I put that out there. I got 300 views on it. Then I put a skunk in the neighbor's yard at night. And the video quality was horrible. And I was using my phone and I videoed a skunk and I just put some music to it. Like, I can't remember. Don't come around here no more or something like that. And I put it out there and it got 25,000 views. And I'm like, I had an albino deer in my yard and I got 300 views as opposed to a skunk in somebody's yard in night with very poor video quality. And I added a song and I got 20,000 hits on it. So that sort of changed me a little bit too, because I'm about the quality aspect of things too. And now don't get me wrong. There's people that have great quality shorts and there's a reason for shorts, but we found for me and a couple other channels is when we do shorts, like a lot of people, like say your garage company is looking for YouTube for advertising. Okay. They go in there and their mindset is they want to see a channel that has 100,000 subs. Okay. They think that garage advertisement's going to go out to those 100,000 subs. So they pick your channel to do they want to sponsor you. They're going to give you $500 a month, which is nothing to them because if they were really advertising, it would be thousands of dollars. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So they say, hey, Ron, I want you to put my ad on your channel. You have 10,000 subscribers. Well, when you do the shorts feed and you get subs, because everybody gets subs from that, and a lot of channels are doing it, and a lot of the big channels now are stopping it because of this reason. Well, now you're getting subs that are just watching shorts. So now your long form you put out there, they're not watching it. They're watching your shorts, which is 15 seconds for that video, whereas your long form is 10 minutes, I'm just going to say. Yeah. So your analytics just went haywire because nobody's watching your long form. And this is being on the same channel, shorts and long form.
Right.
So nobody's watching your long form anymore. So your analytics go, which in the analytics world means that your channel is not getting pushed out correctly. It's not, they're looking to see, because the algorithm, if you look at the algorithm is your audience. Okay. So if your audience isn't watching your long form or just watching your shorts, they're not sending that long form to your shorts feed. To the people that are, even though they're sub to you, they're not seeing in their feed, they're not seeing your long form. So they're never going to watch it. So your analytics drop, which causes your watch time to drop, which means YouTube thinks nobody's watching it. We're not pushing it no more. So it can hurt you. So just be careful with doing that. And that's why I say, Brady, if you're the shorts guy in the group and you love that, I would do the Metzler Outdoors shorts channel, and I would do the Metzler Outdoors channel. And then I would do the video podcast and the long form of your video hunts. Say on, I'm just saying this, I don't know who. Brady would handle the shorts side. Ron, you would handle the other side. But you guys are working together. 2 separate channels really is one channel, but your algorithm and you're going to get better results if you do it that way. Now, I'm not saying just listen to me, but do the research on it, Brady, because it seems like you're a pretty intelligent guy. So you can go in there and look at that for yourself and definitely experiment. Do that with, and see, and look at your analytics, look at your click-through rates, look at your watch time. You can put, and another thing is to look at is, okay, if you get paid from YouTube, if you have 1 million views with your shorts, you're going to make $1,100, say. If you get 1 million views on your long form, you're going to get $3.4 million. That's how they pay out. So that tells you right there, there's more work that goes into the long form, obviously, and they're giving you more money than the shorts. Now, if you choose to do the shorts, I love shorts. Don't get me wrong. I was never a fan of the vertical, but when you have your phone in your hand, it's great. Okay. I do a lot of my editing right here on my phone. I very seldom go to my computer and do all my editing. I have a couple different DaVinci, Adobe, and iMovie. Use all 3 of them. I combined all 3 of them to use in my videos. I'm taking that process over to my computer, and I'm going to start doing more and more with my computer than I do with my phone editing. So, but the shorts feed, mobile, it's great. But the kids and the people nowadays, their attention spans 15 seconds. But if you go back and do some research, Brady, on your shorts, look at the average watch time on your short. Even though it's 15 seconds, you think you're getting 100% view rate on that. You're going to be getting 80%. You're going to look at it and you're going to say, man, everybody watches that for like 4 seconds.
Yep.
And you have a 15-second video. So that really hurts your algorithm in your watch time when you have long form incorporated in with your channel. So just be very careful with that. I'm just letting you guys know that.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've had our channel, I don't know, we'll say 3 years. Mm-hmm. And originally what we would do, and once we got in our self-record, it would be like a tradition around Christmas. We'd put up our 10 or 15-minute video and make everybody watch. The women didn't really care for it, but me and Ron were like kids on Christmas morning. We were all excited to show what we made. Yeah. So I don't know. We just had a couple videos up at no real traction, but we never really hit it head on. So in January, I started trying to throw out something every day, and it's been cool to see the exponential growth. And videos that we would put out before, we'd get like 10 views, and now
now you're getting
100. So yeah. I see what you're saying, and it's something to work towards. But more work goes into it too. That's for sure. Yeah. But I'm constantly, messaging around like, hey, we got to get a video out soon. Like, what are you thinking?
Yeah, no, that's good that you
content got the creation at its finest for sure.
You got the drive for sure, Brady. I know Ron's sort of like an old school guy too. So I'm sure you're showing him the ropes on things too as well. And Ron's just along for the ride, but I know he's into it too, and he wants to help as much as he can. I could just tell. I get that vibe from you guys that you're like the old school guy. Brady's like the guy that's really pushing and getting things, trying to get stuff out there. So that's really cool to see that you guys working together like that on the channel. And you guys are family as well, correct?
Yeah. So, it started with, like Brady was saying, I would go out and I would do like you were doing. I'm going to go out. I'm going to go on a hunt. I'm talking to the camera. I'm going to try to capture this hunt. Self-filming your hunt is very difficult.
Oh yeah.
I fell into it, and I talked about it on one of our episodes a few episodes back, because we had a deer coming through on antler restrictions. I was archery hunting. I thought it was a small buck. It was a small buck, but I didn't think it was legal. And so I started filming with my cell phone just to capture the deer moving through.
Mm-hmm.
And he got close enough that I saw that he was legal. And so then I had to tuck the cell phone, get the bow off the hook, see if I could make a shot, which I did. And we harvested the deer, but I didn't get the action shot.
Mm-hmm.
So then it's like, hey, I can do this. I put together a little video, and then it became, all right, I'm going to go get some Tacticams. So I have a video on my bow. I got a video on me, in the tree. I've got my cell phone. I'm working like 3 or 4 cameras to try to put together a production. And I'm putting together 25, 30-minute videos of a hunting trip on, say, the opening day of rifle or archery. And Brady and I love it, and I think the other guys from camp are digging it. But, a 25-minute video where you don't shoot a deer, nobody wants to watch. Mm-hmm. Like you said, attention span, especially for non-hunters.
Mm-hmm.
So then, we made a shift to try to drop the video length down from anywhere from 4 minutes, 7 minutes, 12 minutes max. 12, 15 minutes is a long one if you're telling a story.
Mm-hmm.
And that I think has helped a little bit. But then, we started just a year ago, started podcasting. And I said, well, why don't we start telling their stories and interviewing one another? And so it's a special type of audience that's just going to sit and watch. And most people are going to listen to this more than sit and watch it.
Yes.
So I think what we're aiming to do is, we'll continue to capture what we're doing as we're out. It's an adventure, right? We're living. We want to stay wild. We want to. Nature's our playground, is what we like to say.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the podcast piece of this, where we're bringing on guests, that I need to carve out, and we'll do a separate Tracks and Tackle channel for the podcast content versus Mentor Outdoors, which is going to be more short form videos of us fishing and just having a good time.
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds like a good strategy for sure.
But that's the goal probably moving forward. But we're having fun doing it. And this is why we bring on guests like you, people that have you've walked this road a little bit longer than we have.
Yeah,
and
I get into it too.
Little wisdom.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, you learn from you guys, you learn from me. That's the whole fun of everything. But I really get into things with the analytics and the traction of the videos, and everybody, when you're in YouTube, you're going to get those emails. Hey, your SEO is messed up. You should be getting more views on your SEO.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we can charge you to fix your SEO. I'm like, why can't I just fix it myself?
Yep. Yeah, if you understand it, for sure.
Why can't I? And I don't. And that's the crazy thing about the algorithm, is I don't think everybody can figure it out. You know what I mean? And when you get that one, and I think they made it that way you get that 1 or 2 videos that go viral, and it only takes one to go viral, then you're doing, that's crazy once you go viral, because I've seen videos of videos of channels like us, and one video goes viral and they can't handle it. They're getting messages and this and that and the other, and it's just crazy. Like, do we even want to be million view channels? Because I don't know. I don't know if I could do it. You know what I mean? Like, how much work? We're
blue collar guys, man. We have regular jobs, and we're, like I said, at this point in the stage for us, we're just having fun.
Yeah.
And this is kind of like an audio log where we share memories of
that's what I'm doing. I'm making a photo album, but video album of my when I'm gone, maybe my kids will watch Off the Hook Outdoors and remember what happened. You know what I mean? That's what I'm doing.
That's the point.
Yeah.
I think we could probably do a whole nother episode talking about like the social piece of this, you know, because it's funny because we're all about outdoors but you know, there's an element to this, you know, to reach people, you've got to be technically savvy and putting the content out, content creation.
Brady's going to learn that for you though, for sure. I can see it.
I'm hoping. I'm hoping that's it.
I can see he's got it. He's got the drive and he's got the fire to do it. And I can tell that he wants to do that. I wanted to mention to you guys too. You guys are from PA, and we do a PA rendezvous every year with channels and stuff. And it said Freezer Bound Outdoors, and that's up off of I-80 in PA. So I'm going to send you the information. But my buddy Adam from Freezer Bound Outdoors, I don't know, check his channel out if you don't. He has a lot of information on it. A bunch of YouTube channels go up there and camp out. He has property around the pond that they put campers and they put tents out, and they stay all weekend, and they have like, you know, demos. We do a fishing contest in his pond, and we don't shoot or anything because there's some drinking involved with that as well.
I'm sure
there's no guns or anything involved, but they have a lot of activities for the kids and stuff like that. I've been going up there for a while. I take my kids up. We do the fishing tournament. I stay because I'm not too far away from it. I don't stay overnight. I go up in the morning and leave. But you guys, from being from PA, I'll give you the information. That's a great spot to go to just to meet other YouTubers.
Network
and things like that. So.
Yeah, be interested to look into that.
I'll shoot you over. But if you guys get a chance, go to Freezer Bound Outdoors and look at his channel, and he has a lot of information on there.
All right, love it. Love it.
Man.
So Ted, let's I want to try to land the plane here, but I know that you got a couple of challenges that you put out on your channel, and I'm going to try to get these right. You got the one bait challenge, and you got the off the hook challenge. Are they separate?
Yes. Yes,
why don't you talk to our viewers or following here and tell them a little bit about that, because I'm really interested in this. I think it's a great idea, and it's a way, like I said, you interact with the people that follow your channel. So tell us a little bit about these challenges you got.
We'll go with the one bait challenge first. Myself and Small Water Charters, John and Lindia, they're out of Florida. They charter, fishing trips down there, and we're very good friends. Every year I go down to Florida, I'm fishing with those guys, and we decided to do something fun. Last year I had a make your own bait challenge, and I'm probably going to do that this year. That's going to be announced later in the year. There's just so much stuff going on. You make your own bait out of household products, and then you make a video, and then you enter the video. That's how we did that last year. It was really fun. A lot of people
like it.
I think somebody made a video out of a flip-flop. Their sandal or something like that. So it's pretty cool. But the one bait challenge is going to be everybody. We're trying to get people to comment on what baits they would like to use. Okay. So like soft plastics, crankbaits, topwater baits, anything like that. What we're going to do is we're going to get a list of baits that people recommend using for the challenge. Okay. Then we're going to put it all on a spin wheel, and we're going to spin the wheel, and whatever bait it lands on, that's the bait you have to use. And then what you're going to do is I'm going to get the baits and mail them. John and I are going to buy the baits, and I was going to make the baits, but I just don't have the time to make my own baits to give out to people. I do that for a testimonial on my website for people that use my baits and make a video. Then I put their video up on my website, and then I get the testimonial, and then they get their video on my website. And if somebody clicks on it, they get the credit on YouTube for it. You know what I mean? So what we're going to do is we're going to make a spin wheel, and say we have a rubber worm, a top water, a buzz bait, a spinner bait, all that stuff's going to be on the spin wheel. We're going to press the spin wheel live. We're going to do that, or we're going to make a video to show people, and everybody that's entered is going to get that bait. Now, if it's it's going to be a pack of soft plastics. We'll send a pack out. It ain't going to be like one soft plastic. So we'll send a pack of baits out, or if it's a crankbait, we're going to send a crankbait out. If you lose it, you lose it. You know what I mean? Something like that.
Yeah.
And then what we're going to do is we're going to send it out to people. We're going to have a deadline of when the video has to be in. And what you're going to do is you're going to make a video of using that bait and catching fish. Now, catching the most or the biggest don't mean you're going to win it. It's just how the video is made with that bait and what you do. And then we're going to put all the videos that are entered at the deadline. We're going to put them in live, and we're going to have it in the description where people can go over and look at the videos, watch the videos. And then on that video that we put out with in the description of all the videos, you're going to vote on what video is the best that you want to vote for. And then we're going to take all that, tally it up, and then you're going to win. And then we're going to get prizes. I have some like Fish Angler, New View Hunting, Angler Tungsten, Placino, Fish Angler. They're all giving me prizes for this.
Very cool.
If anybody wants to donate any prizes, they're more than welcome to donate the prizes. I really don't like asking for money from people either, but some people would rather donate money for the prizes. So if people want to donate, there's a Venmo and a PayPal on my description where they can send me the money, and then we'll buy the prizes or use them to ship out prizes or something. So we're going to do that, and that's going to be announced here real soon. So it'll probably be more of a late May, June thing for that.
All right.
Because PA, May and June, May gets kicking off for the spring, and then June starts fishing season really, like for the bass and things. So we're going to do that. It doesn't have to be, it's any fish on the bait. It doesn't mean you have to catch just bass. If you catch some bluegill, striper, muskie, whatever on it, that's why we're making it like sort of like it's basically, I want you guys all to fish with us. Everybody's fishing together. Type deal.
Yeah, it's creating the community. That's connection.
That's the feel that I want to get. Let's go fishing. And so that's that. So that, keep an eye out for the announcements and all the updates on that coming out here real soon when I'm working with John with that. So yeah, that's going to be fun. And then the next thing is, and I stole this off one of my favorite fishermen, Scott Martin, down in Florida. He always did a Scott Martin challenge, and it was, he would invite one of his professional angler friends on his boat with him to fish, and they would have some stipulations. You're only allowed to use a buzz bait, or you're only allowed to use this, and they would go, and whoever caught the biggest fish would win the challenge. Okay, so I was like, man, I really like that idea. I want to do that, but I can't fish with anybody. I can't travel and go fishing with everybody. So why don't we do a live stream challenge where you got to be able to use StreamYard like here, and you got to be able to go live. Some people can't, but they can go live on bank fishing. They can fish on the banks with me. I'll be on my boat. They can go from the bank or, boat, whatever they choose, kayak, boat, bank fishing. And there's going to be like a 2-hour window. I'm going to, say, Ron, say you want to fish against me. Okay. It's going to be against me. We're going to live stream together, say a time frame. We're not going to make it like an all day thing. It's going to be like 2 hours. I think that's a reasonable live stream where people can pop in and out and follow us for 2 hours and be done with it,
Sure.
Because I think anything dragged on past that, people just don't want to watch it anymore. So we're going to go fishing, and we're going to go bass fishing. And you got to, if you beat me, there's going to be stipulations. We either do the biggest bass, we do the most inches of bass, or we do the weight. So some people might have a bump board, some people might not, some people might have a scale, some people might not, but a lot of the times you can count the fish, how many bass you caught, so there's a couple different options to do it that way. So what it is we're going to get on a little early. Like, say, if we have a time slot sent for, I'm fishing against Brady on Saturday, and it's going to be from 10 to 12. Well, we'll get on about 9:30, the live stream, start talking about what we're going to do. And then we can always change it. What's fun is the freedom of like, hey, you're not allowed to use a spinning rod today. You have to use a bait caster. Or you're only allowed to use a spinning rod today, or you're only allowed to use a top water.
Like the handicap in golf.
Yeah, we can stipulate what you want to use, or we just go fishing, and whoever wins. So I thought that would be really interesting. And then if the people beat me, they win a prize. And if I beat them, I just get bragging rights. I don't win anything. I just get the bragging rights saying that I beat you. So I thought that would be pretty interesting. And like the verse thing, the competitiveness, I think would bring people together and want to watch. And I'm sure there'll be a fan base where people will be cheering for Brady to beat me and maybe me to beat Brady. So it brings everybody in. It's good, clean fun. And it's kind of something to watch. So I'm going to be doing that this year as well. And that's going to start as soon as I start fishing, whenever I can do that. And I'll put an announcement out saying, hey, I'm fishing Saturday and Sunday this weekend. Who wants to go against me? And I'm going to put some little plugs in there. Like, do you think you can beat me, or you want to go against the best, just to fire people up to get them to come in to want to beat me. So I'm going to do some clean hacks of people, but it's going to be fun. You know what I mean? And I think that it's a good way to get people out there fishing and everybody relating to the same thing on that day.
Yeah, I saw you making this last video where you're talking about that stuff, and I was just getting fired up, thinking like, man, that's a great idea, to interact with people and create community.
And that's what it is. That's what it is. It's trying to create the community, fishing with the people that follow me, or some people may not. They might know somebody. Hey, I want you to go beat Ted from Off the Hook. And there's no hard feelings. You beat me, you beat me. I beat you. It's just a fun thing to get out and get everybody sort of the like light competitiveness, but having fun at the same time, and we're all fishing together. You know what I mean? So that's
can't beat it. Yeah,
thing.
it sounds like such a fun idea.
Yeah, so we're going to see how that goes, and I'll do that all year. You know what I mean? It'll be whenever I can fish, I'll put it out there and say, hey, and usually it's every weekend. I have a place up at Edinburgh that I'm fishing all the time. So, and there might be times where I don't even go out on a boat. Maybe I'll bank fish against some people, you know, stuff like that. There's a lot of things you can do with that, I figured. So we're going to try it and see what happens.
Well, we want to promote it.
I fell in love with bass fishing. Where we're at, there's a lot of farmers' ponds.
Yep.
So like it's been bread and butter, and you know the fish are in there. But I've been fishing some bigger creeks. Like for me, a creek you can walk across, and you know it's 10 yards, and that's the creek. But there's some creeks that are built like a river.
Yeah.
But some creeks and rivers, just getting out, it just makes it fun. Just going to different places, experimenting, trying somewhere new.
Yep. For sure. Yep. It's all about bringing everybody together and having fun.
Well, that's it. We all have this appreciation for the outdoors, and like we always say, nature is our playground. So, you know, we get out and enjoy it, but we want to take that along with everybody else, and we want to encourage other people to do it as well. So, Ted, I appreciate you coming on today and you know, sharing a little bit of your knowledge. I'm sure we can do it again here in the future, but we'll talk to Brady. I got to see what our streaming capability is at some of our fishing spots, you know, and maybe we can jump on one of the.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, if you guys are interested too, I'd like to get with you about the rub. Since I'm on Rubline Sense, I know you guys are big hunters. You know, We'd like to get you on the field staff team or something like that too, so we can talk about that. We're trying to recruit some people into the field staff team for Rubline Sense as well. So get you some scent out there and get you guys testing it out for us, and you know.
Happy to do it and get the videos and get the content out there. We're having fun doing that sort of stuff. And you know, this is why we connect with people like yourself. You know,
that'd be awesome too, because we joke that my dad's a scent warden because he's getting on us by walking close to his tree stand, how we're leaving scent. And you know, we did some scouting. It took the dog up, and you know, he's kind of like shaking his head.
Oh, there ain't no deer coming here if there's a dog there. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
but then on my
family.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. But yeah, I'm going to take a bigger role on with the Rubline Sense this year, so I'll be recruiting people onto the field staff team. But we have an application and stuff we're in that makes it work, and you get some products from us, and all we require is some social media posts and maybe a video here and there about it, like make it mock scrape or something like that.
Love to do
stuff like that. Yeah, it's really cool. So I'm looking forward to that as well. So. Taking on a lot of stuff this year.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll get from you any links that you want me to add. You know, certainly to your page. I know that you got apparel, you know, hats and different things that you offer, your baits. A way to contact you. We'll put links to everything in the description of this video. But you know, I really just appreciate you giving me a little bit of your time on a beautiful day. We're going to get outdoors and go, you know, make the most of the rest of the day here. But again, you know, genuine thank you for your time. I know you're a busy guy just like we are.
Yeah, I'm going to tear this makeshift studio down and get to work, I guess, you know.
There you go. I'm sure your wife will appreciate that.
She probably has a list for me. Sure, for sure.
All right, guys. Well, you can find us at Tracks and Tackle on Instagram and Facebook and places like that. You can also find us. We're going to be starting, carving, like we said in the video here, we're going to be carving a YouTube channel out just for Tracks and Tackle. Menser Outdoors is our handle. We got all sorts of content on Menser Outdoors. You can get this anywhere that you listen to podcasts. We appreciate Ted from Off the Hook Outdoors. Give him a follow, give him a like, subscribe to his channel. He's always putting out great content and processing reviews and things of that nature. And if you can, reach out to him, join the One Bait Challenge, the Off the Hook Challenge, and have some fun this summer. So all right, we're going to sign off, guys. Appreciate your time today. Thanks for tuning in, and to all of our listeners, we just want to remind you guys to stay wild.
All right, thank you guys.